Well, thank you for coming today. I'm yelling. I guess I probably don't need to, but my name's James Babcock with New Height Creative, and I'm a little sick today, so we'll try to get through this and go through an example of creating a business, verifying a business, and look at a business that's already entrenched here in South Windsor, briefly without too many details. So we're going to look at Google My Business and how it can help your business and the importance of it so that you can be found in the search engine results page. Sorry. So with that being said, Google My Business is a free, easy-to-use tool for businesses and organizations to manage their online presence across Google, including both search and maps, which I think is an important aspect to remember. To help customers find your business and to tell them your story, you can verify your business and edit your business information. So that's from Google. So, just as Google has dominated the search engine market, maintaining, over 92% market share as of June 2021 for all web-based searches. So when someone says, just Google it, that's what they're doing. They're using Google. They're not using Bing or, some of these other kind of one-off DuckDuckGos and things like that you might see occasionally. It's Google really most of the time. And if you're a local business, meaning in this case, you're serving customers locally, where you're either going to their house or their business or whatever, or they're coming to you, 46 or almost half of all those Google searches are seeking local information. So they're not just looking, at, funny videos of kangaroos fighting against each other. They're looking at, businesses, where's best snow plowing company for, residential services near me type of thing. So what's all the hoopla? Where does this all show up? And how does my business show up? How do you list a business? Do I need a physical address or a website? Does it help my overall web rankings, which correlates with the previous presentation about search engine optimization? Do I create it new if I have a new business? If I have a business that's been around for a while, maybe does it already exist and I just haven't claimed it? And is it worthwhile to claim this if I'm serving customers worldwide or shipping outside of outside the local area? And then the big thing I believe is talking about reviews and the value of reviews in today's world. So where does this all show up? The knowledge panel, Google Local Pack in Local Finder, and then within Google Maps. So your business listing, and I'll just jump over to so this is here. Can everyone still see my internet screen here?
Yep, I just see the slide.
Oh, okay, hold on one sec. I want to share here. How about, can you see this now?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're searching for a business locally, and even I spelled South Windsor wrong here, but Imperial Oil is a good example. So if I'm just searching, I know I'm looking for a business that I know I do business with. I need a quick phone number. I search Imperial, South Windsor. This is what comes up here. So I manage this business with Michael, but on the right side here, you're going to get your listing. You're going to have your website click through, and then on a phone, this would also show up as you can click to call right now, or here you can do that too. You can set appointments through their website, and then separately, it's also going to pull all your information from Google. This is an organic web page listing here, as is what falls below, so different web pages. The Google Local Pack, Local Finder, so that is, if I'm searching for a plumber in South Windsor, so not company specific, you're going to come up within, if your target area is within the search radius, you're going to come up in this map pack here. Some people call it the 3-pack. So this is across all web listings. So Google puts the maps up first because you're searching a location, and then further below, it's going to have your organic listings. So in this case, Imperial isn't the top organic listing, but it does show up on the first page. And we have 2 separate pages, their home page and then a plumbing page specific to South Windsor. But the main thing is that Imperial is showing up here. So when you search plumber, South Windsor, I can click through to their website here. And on the phone, you can click to call. And then lastly, within Google Maps itself, if you search, so in this case, I searched oil delivery in South Windsor, and you're going to get initially the ads here. So you have this Clear River and Newgate Oil being ads. And then here you have the, just kidding. Here you have the, going to show you a list of, let's go here. But it still came up. It's going to show you other oil companies that provide this, and it's going to be generally probably based on location. So the further you get away, but so those are the 3 places, and I'm sure most of you are probably familiar with some search variation of that. So you see the different places it shows up, and let's see here. You can start to see the value of that. So moving on. What are the benefits to my company? It's easier to find information customers seek. I mean, if people are going to Google and 92% of them are searching for stuff, you want to be found there. It's pretty simple. People like to shop comparisons so they can, see, okay, I have, this many companies within my network or within my local area. I can search. I can, easily get access to an email. So if I can contact, if there's 5 businesses and 3 of them have email listed, and I want to just send out email to get a price on this, I can do that all 3 relatively easily without having to call or stop in or something like that. You're able to leverage your photos, and reviews are a big part, but it really enhances the customer's sense of your company. Having photos legitimizes it, and then it can confirm that you are a local company, or that they have the right location. If you're looking for a Starbucks, you don't want to route yourself to one in Albuquerque. You want the one in South Windsor. So information setup and foundations. You want they call it the NAP, the name, address, and phone number. And if any of those are wrong, the name, address, or phone number, and these, they can be, because companies, businesses change locations. They have new phone numbers. There's a disconnect between their name. For example, Imperial Oil Company when we first started, it could have been Imperial Oil Co., Imperial Oil Company South Windsor, Imperial Plumbing Company South Windsor. So it's very important to have across all social media and website examples, to have your name be very consistent. It really helps drive up your search engine. So you want to have your business description, which is really an opportunity to describe what you offer, how long you've offered it, what differentiates you from your competitors. Importantly, you want to add, make sure you're categorizing your business properly and using the subcategory. And there's a cool tool that will get sent out here that you can look at your competitors. So you can look at that link later, but you can search locally and see what your competitors are listing as their categories. And often that's where you want to be. And then you can list out your services separately. You can have additional photos. You can have staff photos. You can have interior, exterior photos. So depending on your business, it might be relevant to have, photos of handicap entrance or, outdoor dining seating. And then separately, you might want to have a picture, imagery of of the bar scene inside. Maybe you want to, or a banquet space. So having, photos representing all aspects of your business is important, and Google is a great place for that. Paused here for some reason. Okay, so monitor and respond to reviews, very important. And you can, again, add product listings. You can even do a virtual walkthrough. You can accept messaging, book appointments, make posts. So that goes to show you don't even really need a website. It certainly helps to have all these things because, if you want to convert your content, your inquiries, but you can, without a website, have a Google listing and still be found. So reviews, how to get them. Maybe we'll come back. We'll come back to that. I'll jump into the actual share. So just looking here at, can you guys see this? So if I go business.google.com, I'm going to sign in as so I have a couple here. I just separated out. So what you have here within Google My Business, you need to be logged in within Google. And, at this point, I think most people probably have a Google address, email address. So you have, if you have a few different, I manage a few different business listings. I have access to Chambers listing, but so to look at an existing listing, I'm going to click in here and I can see my performance over here, my latest posts. I can just look up, company info. It shows all our different service categories, subcategories. Importantly, having your hours listed, your service areas, and that continues on. You show your location. So you go through, you list your service areas, special holidays that you're closed, your short name, your phone number, website. You can, this is an appointment link. And then your services. So there's a lot here. You don't need it all, but it's a really good, it's an important place to have ownership of and have the ability to expand upon. And then within your reviews here, you can manage all of your reviews. And what we want, and one of the most important things for user experience today is our reviews, asking for them as a company, and following up with them, no matter, whether they're good or bad. And generally people, are willing to write a review after a good experience with you. So that's when we recommend it. So if I were to go to Google My Business, add a business, we can create one here. So if your business already existed here, you'd search for it, and can happen if your business is been incorporated for a while, and people have visited there. Some people might post a picture and add your business. So instead, I'm going to add my business. I'm going to call it Joe's Cakes. Call it let's see, is this a bakery? And then next, you want to add a location customers can visit? Yes. Next. And we'll call it office address here. That's where Connecticut. State. Next. We also serve customers outside this location. So in my case, yes, I have a food truck that delivers cakes to parties. So yes, I also serve them outside my location. Add the search area. So in my case, I serve Hartford County. And I also go to Danielson, Connecticut. And you can continue to add more later. So I'm going to add my phone numbers, 860-918-3759. Currently, I don't need a website I'm going to list, but you would add your website there. Continue through here. And now you're at the point of verification. So I'm going to have them call me. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so that alone would
Thank you for using Google Phone Verification. Remember, you should not share this code with anyone else, and no one from Google will ever ask for this code. Your code is 1028882, and your code.
okay. So now I have a verified business. I'm going to continue on. I'm going to say I'm open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, closed on the weekends and Friday. And then I'm going to click next. Oh. I'll just say close. So you can go through, add all your hours. Get specific with that. Your customers. Yes, I can accept messages, which means they'll. So here's where you write some, your business description. Those cakes are great. And you would add photos, so I'll skip that for now. And then they want to wrap you in for some quick advertising and continue. So we should be good.
Hi there.
So that's basically how you'd go in and create a business listing. It's, it shouldn't really take more than 5 minutes, if that's what it took there. If you have a physical location with an address that you'd like, you'll get a card mailed to you with a verification code on it, and it'll show up within probably two days from Google, and you should be good to go. So that's does anyone have any questions here to start? Or does everyone have a Google listing already?
Jamie, can you hear me?
I can, yes, hi.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks.
It's Gladys. So I do not yet have to touch base with Liliana, but that seems pretty simple. The only thing is, my question is for the insights part, is that where you go in to see the traffic that's been the amount of people that have landed on your page or have Googled your page, or?
That would be just its impressions generally of people who, so I can, let me, I know it looks like you're driving, but I can show you a little bit more about.
Oh, I'm parked now.
Um, the one here. So you can see, generally, it's not capturing people who've gone to your website, you know, who've seen your listing and then click through to your website, but it does show you people who, so a direct, in this case, people who search, this would be people who actually search Imperial Oil in South Windsor or something along that line, where Google deciphered that, you know, that this is the business that this person's looking for.
Can you share your screen?
Oh, yeah,
See what
yeah,
you
sorry.
want.
Okay, so I just went over into this tab here, Insights. And it's going to show here. So this might show if someone, a related brand search, this is people who, the direct, the green, shows the number of people who actually, who looked, you know, in this case, they probably searched Imperial Oil in South Windsor or something along those lines. Quarter long. It's not, so, and it's going to show you the maps versus search. So it's a pretty good split here, showing that it's important to, you know, you're showing up both. And then here it's showing people from in the past month generated 60 calls straight from the Google listing, not going to their website. Then separately, it showed 83 click through to your website. And from there, you know, it's on the website to track what people do. But, you know, you imagine some people may have called after finding out a little bit more about your site. And then you can also see who's come in, you know, who's searched for directions, and you can look at who's viewed your photos. But so it's going to show you who's gone to your website, but not what happens once they're on your website. That happens within Google Analytics, which is a whole different presentation. Does that explain or help at all?
Yes, it does, very much so. Thank you.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, you know, you can ask you know, if you have someone working for you, you can ask them to set it up and then, you know, add you as the owner, you know, manager. You want to, if it's your business, you want to take ownership of it generally, or at least share it with somebody, so that, you know, if you need to take it on your own someday or shut it down someday, you easily can. We have a message here. How does Google My Business relate to Pointy? I am not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with Pointy, Christine. Or is this Lori? Do you manage the Peterson one? I mean, Peterson's is great. They do a great job of generating reviews. I happen to see it because I used to work a little bit with Darren there when he first got going, but so I'd have to answer that after knowing more about Pointy. Right. So, okay. So I know, this presentation, it's not, all that riveting, but it's, it should be. Right, okay, so Pointy runs ads. It's an ad management tool, software. I'm not sure how that incorporates. I'm sure, there's a lot of way, once you get into, having your business listed is the starting place to when you want to start creating and running ads through Google. So that's, you want to be listed there.
Jamie, can you go back to when someone leaves a review and say maybe even, moderate or on the negative side, and how you respond to that review?
Absolutely. So I'm going to look at here if we can find a negative one. I'm sure there's one in here. Okay, so I'm going to use Dave. So it depends on the owners, and obviously what their preference is generally with when I manage a company's business. If there's a bad review that comes in that looks like a legit complaint, the best course of action for your business listing is to reach out to that customer and try to solve that problem. You generally don't want an unhappy customer. Sometimes you have to leave it at that because they're just not they're not going to ever be happy. That does exist. So first thing to do is acknowledge the customer, I believe, as in response here, and thank them for their business and acknowledge that so if you can't get correct the problem with the customer and ask them if they'd be willing to update the review based on your follow-ups, then in that case you'd respond publicly and express that you're apologetic that things did not work out. You might list a few other things you do in the numbers of customers you make happy, or acknowledge that sometimes your product isn't the right fit for everybody, but you have a 98% satisfaction rate, or 40 people have given us positive reviews, and there's going to be one who doesn't love the product or service. So but
Do you get alerted?
you get alerted. Yeah, you get an email right away when it comes across. And I have the app on my phone as well, so I get a notification on the app, and then I'll additionally get an email. So you'd want to have the app on your phone because you can't respond via email. You have to go into the app. But that's how you can do that in a timely manner. Because if you get, it's one of those things that if you don't keep track of, hopefully you go look at it and you see that you've gotten a few reviews over some time, but you don't want to go in and just have a generic, thanks for the review, 5 times in a row, all posted right away. You want to be regularly engaging and acknowledging those reviews right away. So having the app on your phone or locally is helpful. But the general practice is, if you can get the customer to remove a review or update it, you can correct the problem, that's going to be best, the best for your overall ratings. And if you can't, then respond how you feel most fit. But probably I'm sure it happens probably less and less, but what you don't want to do is call out a customer publicly. I don't think that's best practice. And you don't need to get overly detailed with the details of what happened, and you don't need to defend yourself too much. So generally, the longest written reviews are the worst. The ones who are irate, for one reason or another. They may have just been having a bad day. So so the important part of this review process and managing reviews is that if you get a negative review, the best medicine for that is flooding your business with positive reviews. And that happens really only by asking customers outright, whether it's verbally or in a newsletter or in an email. So you cannot, and Google will really, it's against their terms and policies to reward somebody or incentivize them for a review, even if, not even, you can't even incentivize them to give you a negative review. That's how much they don't want you incentivizing people. So what you can do is ask for a review and give them a reason. So that's one of the recommendations, is make a reason, have a reason, whether it's just, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, thanks for thanks for being such a long time customer. Would you be willing to write, go onto Google and write us a review, so that other customers, so that we can be found by more people like you? Maybe they don't know how. Maybe they'll, somebody might not have a Google address, but Google account. Maybe they'll ask their kids, hey, can you do this for me? Can you review this company for me? So it's a lot different than if you just leave a card somewhere and say, don't forget to review us, because you're going to get a lot less response from something like that. But then if it's a more direct request, a personal request, you're going to have a much higher success rate of getting people to review you. And this Google kind of keeps some of the algorithms hidden, but it certainly seems that when you want to be within this group, the local pack or the map group, the more reviews you have, the higher up you're gonna be presented. If you have one review, you're generally not going to be listed within the 3-pack, which again is
Okay, and then my last question is, can you delete or remove a review as an admin or the owner?
You can't, and that's a little can be uncomfortable to some if they have a lot of people who would be willing to jump on and write them scathing reviews. You can ask Google to review them if they seem like spam. I've had a company who felt like they were getting one of their competitors was going in and creating profiles and then leaving them 1-star reviews. So you can ask Google to review that, and if they seem like Google can find everything. So you can get those types removed, but a legit customer who had a bad experience, that's part of the game, I guess. But the only thing to do is ask the customer to edit it, and that's why it goes back to you want to try to reach out to that customer and see if you can get them to fix it. And maybe for some businesses, if you want to, you can give them a discount off whatever their next purchase, or something like that. But that's just yeah, you cannot delete reviews, unfortunately. Otherwise, everyone would have 5 stars, though, right? All right. Any other questions? Thank you, Gladys, for that. I appreciate it. We don't have any more questions. I think we can just wrap it up, right, Amy?
Yeah, sounds good.
Great. All right. So I think in 2 weeks we have the LinkedIn presentation. Who's is that Liliana?
Yep.
Is that Marietta?
Oh, LinkedIn. Yeah, that's Marietta. Sorry.
Great. Cool. Well, in 2 weeks, make sure everyone registers. It should be, great for building both your business profiles and your personal profile, which goes, I think, hand in hand with her, headshot and bio presentation from a few weeks ago. So